Welcome to the Hi everyone. We're back. We took a break last week for 4th of July, and so today we're going to be briefly discussing step 9 and maybe a little bit of step 10, and also a check-in with our emotions. And I have a little holistic coping skill to teach you guys. I'm taking a yoga recovery training where it brings in the yogic principles and breathing techniques, and I'm adding in the essential oils so that we can make it even more powerful and change our brain and all the good stuff. Lots of holistic tools for our coping skill bag. So how's everybody doing today?
Great.
Want to do a check-in?
I must say, I'm really having a hard time. Yeah. And so, like, this book, I Am Worthy by one of our doTERRA people, it says, many of us struggle with feelings of worthlessness. Think back if you ever told yourself, I'm not good enough because I'm not at my ideal weight. I'm a bad person because I smoke, drink, etc. I don't deserve love because I'm not perfect. I'm not good enough because I'm only making this amount of money. I'm not good enough because I didn't graduate. I'm a bad person because I eat sugar, processed foods, etc. I'm not good enough because I don't own a house. I'm a bad person because I'm not doing enough in my business. I'm not good enough because I can't get on top of my to-do list. I'm a bad person because I'm lazy. I'm a bad person because I don't do. Do you constantly beat yourself up for not being a better parent, spouse, friend, partner, colleague, student, or child of God? So as I'm going through this book, this is the chapter where it's talking about uncovering the shame. And, going through all this work, it brings out such emotions, because me, I'm kind of a happy person. And like, even when I'm saying I'm not okay, with tears in my eyes, I'm smiling, because it's like, yeah. So today I said, okay, last week, I already knew mentally I was starting to get overloaded. So I took off Friday and I already took off Tuesday. Like, I know we have our Monday meeting. So I said, I'm not going to take off Monday because I said on Tuesday, I'm going to spend the day at the beach. So I'm just grateful because normally I would just keep going and I wouldn't recognize and I would really crash and burn. But I'm like, okay, I'm not okay. So I'm at my mom's and my son has a hair, he has to get his hair twisted. And I called my oldest son and said, can you go to Uber with him? And I'm gonna just be here at my mom's working and trying to get my mental state together. Like, I felt like calling a mental health hotline to say I'm not okay, so that's where I really am today. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, it's so embarrassing to me to feel like things are so out of control, but that's like the reality of where I am today. So there you have it.
Thank you for sharing. Would you like feedback or you want us to just listen?
I would like feedback because I've been trying to go over in my mind, like, it's just, yeah, I feel really out of sorts. I would love feedback.
What I'm hearing is when we try to hold too many balls in the air and we're letting our inner critic get us, we need to remember the best parts of ourselves and our goal in mind with how the best parts of ourselves moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been making me want to make a vision board for these are the best parts of me, and this is where I want to be going with those things. So lots of affirmations, reminders. It will strengthen our sense of self so that when we hear those words of doubt and seeds of fear, that we know, in yoga they call those the kleshas. Kleshas is the seeds of our upbringing, and we don't want to water those seeds. we want to keep those in the ground and water the positive things in our life. So when we have those things come up, that if we have a visual reminder of like, this is the best parts of me, these are the gifts that my higher power, my God, me, and this is how I will water those seeds. So actually that's going to be my challenge for you guys, is to make a positivity, all the best parts of you and your life moving forward with those things. So the other part is, it's actually kind of magic when you realize that you've got too many balls in the air, because that's our perfect place to remember step one. My life has become unmanageable, and you have to lay it at your God's feet. Say, I need your help on this. It's a perfect time to surrender, and surrender can be a nice, warm, oh, thank God, I'm just going to lay this down, and remembering that all of our emotions are messages and lessons. So if we're feeling that we're not enough, or shame, that's resistance. So that means we need to remember that we're here for a purpose, So I hope that that's a helpful hint. Another thing that we've talked about before is there's a website called thework.com. I'm not sure if you guys who was here for that, but there's a woman named Byron Katie, and she made available on her website these beautiful printable worksheets, or you can download the app on your phone. It's called The Work. Just look it up on your phone. And then it helps you to take those untrue words, those limiting beliefs, and just fill out the worksheet. And by taking those circles of thoughts that are hard to get out of your body and out of your brain, and you write it down or you type it into the app, it helps you. None of that's true. That isn't true. And then you can let it go easy, instead of like your brain, being like the pit bull with the bone and not letting it go. So I would highly recommend using that tool. And I was going to show you guys a breathing technique that you can use. So if you'd like to follow along with me, I'm going to choose lavender as my companion oil for this. If you've got your favorite that you've got nearby, I need it for communication. There's some things that I'm not able to see in my relationship with my husband, and I'm sure there's things he can't see about me. So I'm just laying it at God's feet and saying, I'm not sure what I need to do here. So I'm opening up communication lines. So I'm going to take a drop, rub my hands together. If you keep your feet flat on the floor and you rub your hands together like this, that's a really good way to get back inside your body so that you can be in the present. While I do this, I can't think about the past and I can't think about the future, because there's so much energy running through my hands. Do you feel that? Now I'm going to bring my hands over my nose and my mouth, and I'm going to take 4 deep breaths. That's great. So I'm going to show you a little yoga breathing tool. So we're going to do just some movement in our spine and some breathing. So I want you to bring your arms up, breathe in. And exhale, hands to heart. Breathe in, lift up your gifts. Exhale, receive the love from above. One more. And exhale. So we'll do a side breath. So I'm going to bring up my left arm, reaching up, and exhale to the side. Breathing in love. Exhaling fear. We'll do the other side. Two more. Breathing in, surrender. We're going to do cat cow. So you're going to bring your chin to your chest, breathe in. Exhale, lift up your chin. Exhale, resistance. Chin to chest, inhale, surrender. Exhale. All those emotions that aren't serving right now. We can reverse the movement. I'm going to put my hands to my thighs. And on the arch, I'm going to inhale. Exhale, chin to chest, curving the spine. Inhale up. And exhale. You can open your eyes if they're closed. I'm going to teach you a way that you can open up your chest. So it's kind of like imagine, not sure if I did that right. Imagine if your rib cage was inside of a peanut butter jar and there's just a little bit of peanut butter left. So you're going to use the rib cage to scrape the rest of that peanut butter off. So my hands are on my thighs. I'm going to take a breath in, up. Exhale, come back, curve the spine. Come up, soft jaw, and let it go. See if you can find that ocean noise in your throat. And we'll reverse sides. Breathe up. Exhale back. We'll do one more. So it's just a little bit of six directional breathing, spinal release. Just kind of move out some toxins from the lungs. Did you guys notice it was a little easier to stay in your body, harder to think?
Definitely.
Good. So adding in the essential oil. So I chose lavender for an intention because I know that there's something I'm not communicating or I'm not seeing. So you can use your essential emotions book to guide you on what is needed. Also, if you've just got your oils, your favorites around, and you see the one that you're like, your body just picks it. You're like, I don't know why I picked that, but I picked it. And when you smell it, you're like, it smells so good right now. Because your body's like, that one. It knows. Just listen.
I wanted to actually say something about, I love this book. See, I got my little tabs and everything in it. I love this book. I found one that was really, really cool. Have you seen this one?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I have to tell you about it. It is Feeling Good with Essential Oils. It is on Your Oil Tools. It's all about emotions and like that kind of stuff, but it has things in it that I've never seen in any other book, like autism, body dysmorphia, separation anxiety, schizophrenia, guilt, anxiety, anger, all these things. And then it talks about in the back what all the oils do for the positive emotions and experiences. And it's amazing.
Oh, I love that.
It's
For sure.
really, it is an amazing book, and it's on Your Oil Tools.
Can you hold it up again?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
It's a really, really cool book. It has stuff in things in it that I have never seen in other books. So check it out.
Thank you. I appreciate
No problem.
that's like the kind of thing that is very supportive for our group is when we share what we're learning along the way. It's like little breadcrumbs.
Yeah, it's got a lot of really good protocols in them and testimonials.
That's really helpful. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. So just briefly, I wanted to touch on step 9 in the 12-step process. So last week or the week before, we spoke about step 8, which is where basically you're listing people that you feel you've harmed that you'd like to make amends with. And step 9 is actually the action step. So we are literally going to start going through. So now, so step 9 is we may direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. So, something like with my kids who are like 2 and 3 years old, I'm not going to be making amends to them with something that would harm their emotions. I'm just doing a working amends. So that means that me being, changing and becoming more of the kind of person I would like to be an example of to them, that is an amends in itself. There's things like maybe I texted something petty to somebody, or it's just things that don't follow like the 4 agreements. That what's his name, that Miguel, somebody help me out, I'm playing Jeopardy. It's the guy that wrote the 4 agreements, forget his name. But you don't want to say things that are unkind, you don't want to say things that are unnecessary. So if it doesn't follow any of those things, then you can use those guidelines to say, all right, like a friend of mine that's going through the steps, and she's ahead of me a little bit through doing the 12 steps for codependency. She texted me this perfect little template that said, do you just have 5 minutes? I had something I needed to apologize for. And that was an easy invitation. I was a little apprehensive because I'm like, even though she says she needs to say sorry, I'm like, well, is it something I did too? What did I do? I don't know. I don't know why it made me feel like that. But it was just a text message that she said she felt like she needed to apologize for. So, just little things you can start with to make it easy for yourself. And then if you have like a bigger thing to apologize for, it might be a letter that you write so that you can send somebody and just say that, I'm just, I'm reflecting and moving forward in my life. And, this has just been weighing on me, and I get flashbacks that I would like to clear from my life. So reflecting on that step 8, that list of people that you feel that you wronged and you want to make amends for, you kind of have to start with like, okay, who's at the top of the list? And you check in with your emotions, check in with your physical body. Are you resisting? Do you feel it in your throat? Do you feel it in the pit of your stomach? What is the fears behind making amends to this person? Are you worried about what their view of you will be? What will change in the relationship by addressing this and bringing it up? And I think meditating on it and praying on each amends and using your tools like the breathing, like what we just did, and using your oils, I think it's going to help support a non-violent communication so that when you present this to someone, you're going to use I statements. I felt, not you make me feel. That's like make them go into mode, So the communication would be with I statements And yeah, so I don't know if you guys had some thoughts on that you'd like to share or add.
I was thinking of like using digestion with that step because like your stomach, it's like knots or something. And it's digestion is my like go-to for a lot of stuff. So I just thought of that.
That's true, so there might be people that are dead and gone, or they've moved away that you can't make an amends to them. So in that case, that's when you would still write a letter. And like we've discussed in other classes of these, that when you journal and you write your feelings, you're getting it out, because the energy is not destroyed or created. So as long as it comes out of your brain and onto paper, then you're going to be getting that release, and you're going to, I would be praying with this, because I'm asking, God, my higher power, like, I need help with this. So I'm going to just let the pen flow, or you can just text it into your notes, and that's going to help move that energy. And we're paying attention to how we feel, because, in the past, a lot of us have just like swept things under the rug and avoidance, and they show up as physical symptoms. So if you start having a physical symptom, just start paying attention to what was maybe an emotion you're feeling at the time, so that you can hear clearly the message. So like for me, stress will be interpreted by pain. I'll have pain in my jaw. That means I'm not breathing, I'm clenching my teeth. It might be sleeplessness. If I'm not able to sleep, then I know, okay, what is it that I need to work through? Is it because I'm procrastinating work I need to get done? Is it because, I need to talk with somebody to open that communication line? It just gives us some action steps, instead of letting them, turn into something more. More and more, I'm seeing people, this has been going on for a long time, but it's becoming more obvious to me, that these chronic illnesses, these autoimmune disorders, it's the body being stressed for too long that will turn into a chronic illness. So we're being very proactive and preventative care for ourselves by making sure that we're not going to become the stressed out rabbit that loses all tear and dies. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's some of my ideas on that. And then next week we'll be talking about step 10, which I'll tell you what that is. Step 10 is a daily inventory, so that when you go to bed at night, you think about the things that you've done well, and you think about the things that you could maybe apologize for or improve on. There's also apps for that, but what I would do is just journal it. So journal in your phone, journal on your little notebook. I like having the cute little notebooks like this, just because if I lose them, then I won't feel bad about it. And then I can just write like, oh, well, this went well today. And it'll reaffirm those good things about yourself that you want to move forward. So as far as something that I would challenge you guys to do this week is journal your feelings more. If you can try to just jot down, be like Captain Ahab, like on his boat, today 2 sails fell off. We'll work harder to keep less people dying. Sorry. And then if you want to go the extra mile, I'm going to do this week, just because I want to remember. Usually when I think about people say, what are you going to be doing in 5 years? Usually that makes me panic and I freak out. So I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't have my ducks in a row. I don't know what I'm be doing in 5 years. I want to be doing what I'm doing right now. I want to feel joyful. I want to be calm. I want my kids to know how to communicate and how to just be happy, successful people. So, and keep in balance. And so my vision board is going to have, a lot of what I'm seeing in my life. And I hope that gives you guys some support. So I would put your top 3 things that your gifts are. What are your 3 things that are your purpose here that you love about yourself and moving forward? Any comments? I'm open for feedback.
That was great. Thank you.
Yeah. There is actually 4 different little like affirmations for breathing in and breathing out that I couldn't remember because I'm using my phone. I was going to use my phone for notes, but Zoom was acting funny. So I'm using my phone for this actual meeting. But I can include that in the notes for those of you who want it. Well, I thank everybody for coming. And I think to end this, let's say, tell me one thing that you like about yourself. I'm going to tell you one thing I like about myself. I love that I'm able to help other people see their gifts.
I care about people a lot.
I'm very authentic and honest.
Well, thank you guys for showing up for yourself today. And I adore this, being here and making this safe space. So thank
I
you.
appreciate it. I did kind of have a question that I would love feedback on before we go. Because like, I think I went to like 5 CODA meetings and I didn't go to the last 2. And then we didn't meet last week. And I guess sometimes I feel like, I shouldn't need these supports. Like I shouldn't fall apart because I didn't have my thing on Monday. So then I feel bad about that, and the weird thing about last week, because I'm always very intentional. Like I put the CODA meter down, and so last week my sister needed to talk, and she was talking for an hour, and I was looking at the clock, and I could have easily said, "All right, well, but I wanted to bond with my sister, and yeah." So I guess I don't know if there's a thin line between where you use your supports as a crutch versus like taking responsibility. And so that's kind of what I was thinking about, because I'm like, I shouldn't fall apart just because I missed a couple meetings. So I was like, what's wrong with me? That type of thing.
Well, I would look at your point of view on it is a little bit, so when we say, I admit I'm powerless and I need support, that's saying I'm coming back to the herd.
Mm,
Full.
okay.
When we start taking back things and saying, I can do it by myself,
Mm-hmm.
that is going to always get you in trouble.
Makes sense.
So there's an acronym. It's hungry, angry, lonely, tired.
Mm-hmm.
Let ourselves get any of those things too much. They call it HALT. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And we need that connection because we're herd animals. We need to be heard. We need to feel understood. And we need to hear stories that we can relate to, that we feel in common with. So you can listen to recovery podcasts. There's lots of that going on these days. I would connect with a friend that is, like, do you have space to listen? Maybe it's not as close to you like a family member.
Right.
I have my original step group of women that I'll reach out to if I'm feeling like I need to just kind of talk about something or connect and,
Mm-hmm.
And learn. If you haven't checked it out yet, go to y12sr.com. That's Nikki, what's her name? The lady who made yoga in the 12 steps, Nikki Myers. And there's meetings on there for yoga and recovery. That's for every walk of recovery, codependency, and any kind of substance addiction or adult children of it used to be adult children of alcoholics, but now it's adult children of adversary. Is that the word I'm looking for? It's any kind of dysfunctional living, like where you grew up in a dysfunctional home, and so our view of the world is skewed. So I would check out my favorite meeting on intherooms.com is with Kitski Hawk, and it's 8 a.m. PST Sunday morning. So that would be what, 11
Mhm.
PST? So put that on your calendar. That's my favorite meeting. So
Well, thank you for that extra feedback. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you too, Crystal. You all have an amazing rest of your day.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.